My name is Presley, and I never thought the man I married would try to kill me over dinner. It was our 5th anniversary. Marcus had cooked my favorite meal, chicken parmesan with garlic bread. He'd been so attentive all evening, refilling my wine glass, asking about my day at the marketing firm. "This is delicious, honey," I said, cutting into the tender chicken. "You really outdid yourself." "Only the best for you, sweetheart," Marcus replied, his smile not quite reaching his eyes. "Eat up. I made plenty." Something felt off, but I couldn't place it. Marcus kept watching me eat with an intensity that made my skin crawl. "You're staring," I laughed nervously. "What's wrong?" "Nothing at all," he said softly. "Just enjoying the moment." 20 minutes later, my stomach started cramping. Then the room began spinning. "Marcus," I gasped, gripping the table. "I don't feel well." He leaned back in his chair, completely calm. "Really? That's unfortunate." I need to go to the hospital," I managed, my vision blurring. "Something's wrong." Marcus stood up slowly and walked around the table. He crouched beside me, and that's when I saw it. The cold satisfaction in his eyes. He leaned close to my ear and whispered, "30 minutes left." Terror shot through me. "What did you do?" "Life insurance, darling. $2 million. And Jennifer's been so patient, waiting for me to take care of this little problem." His voice was conversational, like we were discussing the weather. "Jennifer?" I choked out. "Your assistant?" "My girlfriend, actually. We've been together for 8 months. The policy matured last week. Perfect timing." I tried to stand, but my legs wouldn't cooperate. "You poisoned me." "Antifreeze in your wine," he confirmed cheerfully. "Tasteless, odorless. By the time you show symptoms, it's usually too late. The doctors will think it's natural causes. Kidney failure, maybe a stroke." With shaking hands, I pulled my phone from my pocket. Marcus snatched it away. "No, no," he tutted. "Let's not ruin the moment." But he hadn't seen my Apple Watch. I pressed the emergency SOS with my last bit of strength. "Smartwatch," I whispered. "Called 911. His face went white. "You bitch." The doorbell rang. Paramedics, faster than either of us expected. "In here!" I screamed with everything I had. "He poisoned me!" Marcus ran for the back door, but he was too late. The paramedics burst in, followed by police who'd been dispatched with the emergency call. "She's delusional," Marcus said quickly. "Food poisoning, maybe. I was just about to call." "He told me 30 minutes," I gasped as the EMTs checked my vitals. "Antifreeze. In the wine." "Blood pressure's dropping fast," one paramedic said. "Possible toxic ingestion. We need to move, now." As they loaded me onto the stretcher, I locked eyes with Marcus. "I heard everything," I whispered. "And I'm not dying today." I woke up in the ICU 3 days later. My sister Sarah was asleep in the chair beside me, and a woman in a white coat was checking my IV. "Welcome back," she said with a kind smile. "I'm Dr. Elena Rodriguez. You're incredibly lucky to be alive." "Water," I croaked. Sarah jolted awake. "Presley, oh my God!" She grabbed my hand. "You scared the hell out of me!" Dr. Rodriguez held a cup to my lips. "Small sips. Your kidneys took a serious hit, but we got you in time. The activated charcoal and fameprazole treatment worked." "The poison?" I asked. "Ethylene glycol poisoning. Antifreeze, just like you told the paramedics. Your husband gave you a lethal dose." Her expression hardened. "The police have been waiting to talk to you." Sarah squeezed my hand tighter. "Marcus is in custody, but his lawyer got him out on bail. Presley, tell me you're pressing charges." "Absolutely," I said, my voice getting stronger. "He tried to murder me for life insurance money." A knock on the door interrupted us. A tall man in his 50s entered, showing his badge. "Mrs. Daniels, I'm Detective James Carter. I know you're recovering, but I need to ask you some questions about the night of the incident." He told me everything, I said immediately. About the $2 million policy, about his girlfriend Jennifer, about the 30 minutes. I want him in prison for the rest of his life. Detective Carter pulled out a notebook. "Walk me through exactly what happened and what he said." I recounted every detail. The dinner, Marcus's confession, his cold calculation. "This is attempted murder, premeditated," Carter said. "But I'll be honest, without physical evidence or a recording, it's your word against his. His attorney will claim you were hallucinating from the poisoning." Sarah stood up. "Then we need to get that evidence. What about the wine bottle?" "Contaminated and disposed of by Mr. Daniels before we could secure the scene," Carter admitted. "He claimed he was cleaning up." I felt fury building. "So he just gets away with it?" "Not if we're smart," Dr. Rodriguez interjected. "I've seen cases like this before. Men who try to kill their wives don't usually stop at one attempt, especially when the first one fails." Detective Carter nodded slowly. "What are you suggesting, Doctor?" "A controlled confrontation," she said. "Presley gets him to confess again, but this time she's wearing a wire." "That's dangerous," Sarah protested. "He already tried to kill her once." "It would be in a controlled environment," Carter explained. "Hospital room, plainclothes officers nearby, full surveillance. We've done it before." I looked at each of them. "When can we set it up?" "You're serious?" Sarah asked. "Presley, he could hurt you." "He already tried to murder me," I said firmly. "And Dr. Rodriguez is right. He's arrogant enough to think he got away with it. If I play weak and scared, he'll gloat. That's who Marcus is." Detective Carter studied me. "You're tougher than you look." "All right, let's do this. I'll coordinate with the DA's office for immunity in exchange for cooperation, and we'll wire your room. Can you convince him to visit?" "I'll have Sarah call him," I said. "Tell him I'm asking for him, that I don't remember what happened, that I'm confused and scared. His ego won't be able to resist." Sarah pulled out her phone reluctantly. "I hate this plan, but I hate him more. Let's nail this bastard." 2 days later, I was sitting up in bed, looking appropriately weak and confused. The wire was taped to my chest under my hospital gown. Detective Carter and 2 officers were in the next room, listening to everything. Sarah had called Marcus that morning with the perfect bait. "Presley's asking for you. She doesn't remember anything about that night. The doctors say the poisoning caused temporary memory loss. She's scared and wants her husband." Now, watching the door, I took a deep breath. Marcus walked in carrying flowers, his expression carefully arranged into concern. "Presley, sweetheart," he said, approaching the bed. "Thank God you're okay. I've been so worried." I let my lip tremble. "Marcus? What happened to me?" He sat beside me, taking my hand. I fought the urge to pull away. "You got very sick at dinner, baby. Food poisoning, the doctors think. You've been through so much." "I don't remember," I whispered. "Everything's so foggy. Did you say something to me? About minutes?" His grip tightened slightly. "No, sweetheart. You were hallucinating from the fever. The paramedics said you were saying all kinds of crazy things." "But I remember your face," I pressed, watching his reaction. "You were smiling. And someone named Jennifer?" Marcus's jaw clenched. "You need to rest, Presley. These false memories will fade." "Are you cheating on me?" I asked directly, letting tears fill my eyes. Of course not. He stood up, agitated now. The poison made you paranoid. There's no Jennifer, no affair, nothing like what you're imagining. What about the life insurance? I said softly. $2 million? He froze. How did you? The doctors must have mentioned it. Yes, we have life insurance. Most couples do. You told me about it, I said, dropping the confused act. Right before you said 30 minutes left. Marcus's face went cold. You're remembering wrong. Am I? I sat up straighter. Because I remember you saying you and Jennifer had been together for 8 months, that the policy matured last week. That antifreeze is tasteless and odorless. Shut up, he hissed, looking toward the door. The doctors will think it's kidney failure or a stroke, I quoted. Those were your exact words. You can't prove anything, Marcus said, leaning close. It's your word against mine, and you were dying, hallucinating. No jury will believe you. Actually, they will, Detective Carter said, walking through the door with 2 uniformed officers. Because she's been recording this entire conversation. Marcus spun around. What? This is entrapment. No, this is your wife getting justice, Carter said, pulling out handcuffs. Marcus Daniels, you're under arrest for attempted murder. You have the right to remain silent. This is bullshit, Marcus started. I'd use that right to remain silent if I were you, Carter interrupted, because every word out of your mouth is just digging you deeper. As they cuffed him, Marcus looked at me with pure hatred. You bitch. I should have used something faster. There it is, Carter smiled. Another confession. Thank you for that. Sarah appeared in the doorway, phone in hand. I recorded that last part too, just in case. And I found Jennifer. She's already talking to the DA about testifying in exchange for reduced charges on insurance fraud conspiracy. Marcus's face went white. Jennifer wouldn't. She already did, Sarah said triumphantly. Threw you under the bus the second the police showed up. Turns out she doesn't want to go to prison for your murder plot. Get him out of here, Dr. Rodriguez said from the hallway. My patient needs to recover in peace. As they dragged Marcus away, still protesting, I finally let myself exhale. You did great, Detective Carter said. That recording will seal the case. With Jennifer's testimony about the planning, the physical evidence of the poisoning, and his multiple confessions, he's looking at 25 to life. Sarah hugged me carefully. It's over. He can't hurt you anymore. Not quite over, I said. Now comes the trial. 6 months later, I stood outside the courthouse with Detective Carter, Sarah, and my attorney, Michelle Chang. Guilty on all counts, Michelle said, reviewing the verdict paperwork. Attempted murder in the first degree, conspiracy to commit murder, insurance fraud. The judge sentenced him to 30 years without possibility of parole. 30 years, I repeated, letting it sink in. He's 42 now. He'll be 72 when he gets out. If he lives that long, Detective Carter added. Prison isn't kind to men who try to murder their wives. The other inmates don't take kindly to that. Sarah popped open a bottle of sparkling cider she'd brought. To Presley, the woman who refused to die and made damn sure her would-be killer paid for it. We toasted, and I felt lighter than I had in months. What about Jennifer? I asked. She got 5 years for conspiracy and fraud, Carter explained. She's already serving her sentence. Turned out she was the one who suggested antifreeze. Thought it would be untraceable. Idiots. Michelle laughed. Modern toxicology screens catch ethylene glycol immediately. They watched too many crime shows and not enough actual forensic science. Dr. Rodriguez joined us, having testified at the trial. How are the kidneys holding up, Presley? Fully recovered, I said. You saved my life twice, once in the ER, and once by suggesting the wire operation. I've seen too many cases where these men get away with it, she said seriously. When you survived and wanted to fight back, I knew we had a chance to stop him permanently. My phone buzzed. It was my attorney from the civil suit. The life insurance company settled, Michelle announced, reading over my shoulder. They're paying you the full $2 million policy, plus an additional $1 million in damages for emotional distress and the attempted fraud. Marcus's share goes directly to you as part of the divorce settlement. $3 million, Sarah whistled. That's some expensive karma. I'm donating half to domestic violence organizations and poison control centers, I said. The rest goes into a trust. I never want to touch money connected to what he did. Detective Carter shook my hand. You're one of the strongest people I've ever met, Presley. Most victims don't have the courage to face their attacker again, let alone trap them into confessing. I was terrified, I admitted, but I was angrier. He thought I was weak, thought he could murder me and walk away rich with his mistress. I couldn't let him win. A courthouse reporter approached. Mrs. Daniels, can I ask how you're feeling about the verdict? I thought about Marcus's face when they'd read guilty. The same cold calculation replaced by shock and fear. I feel free, I said simply. Justice isn't revenge. Revenge would have been me poisoning him back. Justice is the legal system recognizing what he did and ensuring he faces real consequences. He tried to take everything from me, my life, my dignity, my future. Instead, he lost his freedom, his money, his girlfriend, and his reputation. That's not revenge. That's accountability. Sarah hugged me. What are you going to do now? Live, I said firmly. I'm going back to work. I'm buying a house with my settlement money. And I'm never again going to waste time on someone who doesn't value my life. Marcus thought he could erase me in 30 minutes. Instead, I erased him from my entire future. Michelle raised her glass again. To moving forward. To moving forward, we all echoed. As we left the courthouse, I turned back one last time to see Marcus being led away in shackles, his expensive suit replaced by an orange jumpsuit. He saw me watching, and his face twisted with rage. I smiled and waved. Then I walked away and never looked back. Have you ever discovered someone you trusted was planning to harm you? How would you have handled finding out your spouse was trying to kill you for money? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.